Hey guys, First Regardsman here, and so I'll be talking about the new Hive Scum class in Darktide, the brand new map No Man's Land, and a triple barrel shotgun build that will allow you to become the hobo final boss with dual wielded shivs and hilariously fast movement speed to barrel stuff the horde and one-shot pretty much every special that's in front of you. And if none of that sounds particularly epic to you, well, you also get a giant rocket launcher.
Boom! That's a good one. I might not survive, but it's a good one. Oh, that looks cool as fuck when it does that. Does it heat seek or does it like have a drop off? Look at the kill feed. So much shit. Oh, that was such a good unit. Yeah, dude, that's in the clip. That's the clip right there.
I also want to say thank you to Fat Shark for sponsoring this video, and now it's time to get into the fabled triple barrel shotgun build. Now, unlike the previous Arbites class that was added to Darktide, the Hive Scum is far more of a glass cannon and does not have access to absolutely insane toughness regen. Instead, a lot of their tree focuses around movement speed, conditional damage immunity, and dodges rather than outright tankiness. Now, this class will have a bit of a learning curve, especially for newer players, and does feel far more team reliant on some setups than other classes do, but still a very strong class and really fits that niche of a nimble fighter moving in and out of close to medium range, which is fairly thematic to what a Hive Scum actually is in lore. And the first thing I want to go over here in the actual build setup is our melee weapon selection and range weapon selection on top of our curios. So I have chosen the brand new dual wielded shivs. These are exclusive to the Hive Scum. They come in multiple marks with Mark 1 and Mark 3. Mark 3 is more of a slash attack, and Mark 1 is a stab attack on the heavy. I prefer this one overall because the heavy attacks are really useful for things like the Carapace armored enemies, which is why I have chosen to take a perk for plus 25% damage versus Carapace and plus 25% damage versus Flak, because this is kind of a catch-all for like all the armored enemies in the game. And the biggest thing we struggle with on this build is Carapace, so having these does help out a ton. And on top of that, they do have a special ability called Throw. Quickly throws a shiv coated in Chem Toxin and Arc Trajectory. Throwing shivs are limited and are restored by killing elite specialist or monstrosity enemies with melee attacks, or by killing an enemy with melee backstab attacks. Now, these things are actually pretty damn good. The Toxin will actually go through Carapace armor and do significant damage, so pretty great for that. And the blessings I've chosen today are Riposte, which is plus 20% critical chance for 6 seconds on successful dodge. Now, crit chance on these is quite useful because one of the major toughness regen perks for melee attacks is called Precision Violence. Melee hits replenish plus 2% toughness, and melee critical strikes and weak spot hits instead replenish 4% toughness, and critical weak spot strikes replenish 8% toughness. So getting these extra crits really does help a lot for our toughness regen, and without these, you do kind of struggle with toughness at times, like I mentioned before. And the next blessing after this is Uncanny Strike, plus 8% rending on enemy weak spot hit for 3.5 seconds, and this stacks 5 times. You know, Uncanny Strike is a classic perk in this game, a really powerful option, great for killing armored targets like Crushers, which we do struggle with. This helps out a ton for us, and that's pretty much all there is for the melee weapon setup. Now, the range weapon we've selected here is a double-barreled shotgun. It's kind of hard to get a triple barrel without taking this first, because this class, just like the Arbites before it, has a perk that will round up your clip size by 15%, and that will give you 3 shells instead of 2 in your double barrel shotgun. Don't ask me the actual mechanics of that because it makes no sense. It's a lost Dark Age of technology weapon. The point is, you have a triple barreled shotgun now, and this thing does serious damage. And the dump stat I've chosen for the actual weapon spread here is mobility, because this class has incredibly powerful dodges regardless. And to be honest, like, having 60% mobility is still very good in Darktide, so you really don't need this to be like all the way up to 80. That allows you to max out your other stats like damage, reload speed, stopping power, and range. For the perks here, I do take Flak armored enemies and maniacs. This is mainly so we can catch most of the specials in the game, because we really want to be able to one-shot enemies on this weapon, because we are taking the talent down here. Killing an elite or special enemy while ammo reserve is below 20% will refill it back up to 20%. This will actually put ammo from your reserves back into your magazine. The description's like a little bit wrong here, but the point is that as long as you are able to one-shot a special or an elite with this weapon, you will get your ammo back with like one shot in your magazine. So really good to continuously fire, and being able to like never reload your double-barreled shotgun is really strong in this game, which is why we take the blessings here like Death Spitter plus 6.5% strength for 5 seconds on close range kill, and Scatter Shot for plus 12% critical chance for each enemy hit by your previous attack stacking 5 times. Both of these give you more strength and more crit chance, which comes out to more one-shots, and more one-shots is what we want, and that's pretty much all there is to the double-barreled shotgun here. Now for the curios here, I did take toughness on all of these with revive speed, stamina regen, and more toughness, because toughness is pretty standard in this game, even for a class like this doesn't have a ton of regen for it. And revive speed can just outright save your missions, and stamina regen is really useful on the Hive Scum because you have perks here like Jittery, plus 20% dodge recovery speed, while stamina is above 80%. So stamina regen is already pretty good, and you get extra benefit because of perks like this, so pretty great across the board for us. That's pretty much all there is for the curio setup. Now for the talent tree, we are mainly building around a ranged weapon here because after all, this is a Desperado of Vulture's Mark build, and we'll go over these perks in a little bit, but first up, we have the perk In Your Face. This will give you plus 25% range damage against targets within 12.5 meters, scaling down to a minimum of plus 10% at 30 meters and beyond. Well, we are using a double-barreled shotgun, so being like point blank is pretty much the standard for this build, so kind of a no-brainer to pick this one up. Next perk here is a Voice of Tertium. Replenish plus 5% toughness on range kills, elites, and specials instead of replenish plus 10% toughness. Like I mentioned before, toughness regen on this class is pretty low, so perks like this are pretty damn useful for us. And the next perk I take is Speed Loader, plus 15% reload speed for 8 seconds on a close range kill. Now there are times where we will not be auto-loading our gun off of the perk down here, Pickpocket, so having this will help us during those occasions where we actually have to like reload our weapon, and 8 seconds is a really long time, and a close range kill is happening pretty much 24/7 with the double-barreled shotgun. Next perk here is Calling for a Timeout, minus 25% toughness damage taken while reloading and for 2 seconds afterwards. Now you will be reloading your weapon all the time outside of those one-shots, so this one will have great synergy for perks like this. Now the next two talents I take are Precision Violence and Fall Like a Butterfly. This one gives us toughness regen on our shivs for the reasons I previously mentioned, and this one gives us plus 20% crit strike chance for 2 seconds on a parry or successful dodge. Now pretty much every single Hive Scum build will have benefits to dodging all the time because we have perks here like Nimble and Jittery, so great synergy there. And this brings us to the next talent, which is Toughness Boost down into our Blitz, Boombringer. High-powered missile launcher, 3 max missiles. This is an amazing blitz. The missile launcher will wipe out entire armored packs of Scab Maulers, Maniacs, Flak Armored Maniacs, and stuff like that. Really overperforms and brings you some great horde control you would otherwise not have, and it's by far the most entertaining of the 3 options in my opinion, so great for sure. And the next talent I take here is Gang Tough. Plus 10% range damage and plus 10% toughness damage reduction. It's just a free stat boost, pretty nice to have, but this takes us into the next two talents, Nimble and Jittery. This one granting us plus 25% extended dodges, and the time to start dodging is increased by 50%. This makes it significantly easier to pull off the talents here like Flow Like a Butterfly or our Blessing Hero for Post. That bonus crit chance is super easy to pull off with this perk active, so great option for sure. And the next one down here just gives us more dodges back when our stamina is above 80%. This is also pretty easy for us to trigger because we do have the Curio with a plus 12% stamina regen on all of these, so good for us there too. And the next one over here is called Slippery Customer. While sliding, you gain melee attack immunity. Now, while this talent is active, now on this build Desperado, you will be moving so fast while your Keystone and your class ability are active that your slides will go like a mile long. Super easy, just like slide across the entire map and have a complete melee attack immunity during that duration. So really funny interaction there, which is why I like picking this one up. And the next thing I take here is the Aura Anarchist, plus 5% critical chance for you and your allies in Coherency. Now, crit chance is really useful for a lot of classes in this game, especially us. Though I will say, if you're playing like Havoc or something, you probably should take things like Gunslinger Improved. This one says when an ammo pickup is collected by you or allies in Coherency, you each replenish ammo equal to 10% of that pickup. To be honest, outside of Havoc, I don't think you run into any ammo issues whatsoever on this build anyways, so it doesn't matter too much, which is why I picked up the crit chance. And the next talent I take is the Toughness Boost, moving here into our main class ability, Enhanced Desperado. This swaps to and reloads your ranged weapon, entering Enhanced Desperado for 10 seconds. For the duration, you become impossible to hit by ranged attacks, and sprinting costs no stamina, as well as gaining plus 30% sprint speed. While the ability is active, reloading your weapon does not reduce your ammo reserve, and additionally, enemies within close range become highlighted. Killing highlighted enemies with your ranged weapon extends the duration by 3 seconds, and after 20, the extended becomes diminished. Base cooldown is 30 seconds, and this is a pretty damn powerful class ability. You'll have infinite ammo while you're in this, and being immune to ranged attacks on top of that is really useful for getting your teammates up at times. And the 2 keystone perks here, or ability modifiers I should say, are weak points in the armor and focus resolve. This one gives you an additional 15% rending for your ranged weapon attacks while you're in Desperado, and additionally, killing highlighted enemies also grants plus 3% range damage, stacking 5 times. More range damage means it's easier to pull off those one-shots to keep refilling your double-barreled shotgun, or excuse me, your triple-barreled shotgun. And you kind of see where this is going, where you just get more and more damage and keep one-shotting, keep shooting your double barrel while moving at like Mach 15 speed. Really funny interaction there and super fun to use. And this down here, this will give you a 0.5% ability cooldown every time you kill an enemy, and elite and special kills will instead restore 1 second, and the 5 seconds is a max cooldown restored. So pretty nice there for CDR. You could maybe skip over this and just use like a CDR stim instead as like your main CDR cooldown here, but that is up to you. Also at the talent tree here. But in this build, I just take this anyways. Now, the next one I take here is plus 5% critical hit chance. Moving down to the perk here, Quick and Deadly, plus 15% close range damage for 2 seconds after a successful dodge. This is just a bonus range damage for our successful dodge. Like I mentioned before, we do take the perk here, Nimble and Jittery, so our dodges are better than ever. Moving down into the passive Hypercritical. Critical strikes instantly kill human-sized enemies if their current health is less than 2 times the amount of damage of a critical strike. Now, we have a ton of crit chance on this build, so this will actually trigger all the time. And the other 2 passives here are Ammo Jack and Pickpocket that we talked about previously. This is like the crux of this whole build. This is what generates the fabled triple barrel shotgun. And this one will simply allow you to have that infinite ammo in your magazine while you keep one-shotting guys. So this is like the, the big perk interaction here. Next one here is the Sweet Spot, plus 15% weak spot damage. This is just a nice little passive buff to your weak spot damage, just a free damage buff. If you want to like swap this out for something else, you definitely could. And then we go down here into one of the most important things we have with our keystone, Vulture's Mark. Killing a special or elite enemy with a ranged weapon grants you a stack of Vulture's Mark for 8 seconds, stacking up to 3 times, and each stack will grant you plus 5% range damage, plus 5% range critical strike chance, and plus 5% movement speed, on top of it having, while at max stacks, special and elite range kills restore 15% toughness to you and your allies in coherency. This is kind of like a catch-all for everything we want in this build. We get range damage, crit chance, movement speed, and toughness regen for not just us, but our whole team, which is pretty great to have. And the modifiers I take for this are Vulture's Push and Patient Hunter. This one reads, killing elite or special enemies with range attacks knocks all enemies around you backwards. This is pretty nice for like opening up bulwark shields and stuff like that, or knocking over melee guys that are about to hit you. And this one over here, this gives you more duration, which is pretty cool as well. Now, you could pick up the modifier here, Vulture's Dodge, giving you 1 second of immunity to all attacks for 1 second on a critical strike. This is pretty good on this build because we do have a pretty enormous crit chance on our shotgun here, but I did skip over this because we already have immunity to melee attacks from Slippery Customer, and Enhanced Desperado gives us full immunity to like range attacks already, so it can be a little redundant at times, but if you want to pick this up for like extra survivability, you definitely could. And the final talents I take are melee damage boost, moving here into the passive Tis But a Scratch. Replenish 50% toughness over 6 seconds after taking range toughness damage. Losing all toughness cancels the effect. This talent comes out to so much free toughness in your game. Now, obviously, Desperado will give you like full range attack immunity, but there are a lot of cases in the game where you'll not have this active, and this one will still just give you a ton of free toughness. Amazing perk, kind of insane how much this actually generates for you. And the final 2 talents I take are Punching Above One's Weight for a plus 15% bonus against elites and monsters, and Hyper Violence. Killing blows grant 25% of the difference between the damage dealt by your attack and the health of the killed enemy as melee damage for 3 seconds. This boost is kind of insane. The amount of bonus melee damage you get off this perk is incredible. It's even good on this build, like we aren't even built for melee, and on a melee damage build, it is kind of absurd how good this thing actually is. Definitely a must take for me, and I love this one a lot, and that's pretty much all there is for the talent tree here. Now here in the Stim Lab, this is the new mechanic exclusive to the Hive Scum class. Basically, you can have a cartel special stim that replaces any stim you could pick up on the map, but it's a guaranteed stim. It has like a 30-second cooldown. It will never actually run out, and you can build into like the talent tree here for things like strength like I did, or down here with cooldown regeneration or attack speed or toughness regen. Now, for this one, I did pick up the extra strength and crit chance because I just find this helps out our one-shots and stuff like that. And the CDR here is just super nice to have. And the one up here, the passive clay, while active, ranged killing blows grant 100% cooldown ability regeneration for 1 second. This is a really strong perk, though if you want to take like the full 100% here instead, you definitely could. I think there's like a bug with this on the test server here, but like in-game, I would probably take this one. And that's pretty much all there is for my stim setup. So there you have it, folks. That is the triple barrel shotgun hobo final boss build. Now, there are a lot of other builds you can make on this class, things like rampage for melee attacks, things like having a giant stim supply to boost up your whole team. I'll probably cover these at some point, but for now, that is the build we've chosen today, the double shiv, the triple barrel. Hopefully you like this guide, and here's some actual gameplay of this on the new map, No Man's Land, where we are escorting a Lehman Russ battle tank. Oh, it's missile time.
Oh, missile.
It's good, doesn't it?
Oh no, I fucking flashbanged a little too late. Ah. At least you just got a little short jaunt. I'll be right there in 8 seconds. Nice.